Welcome to my Scrappin space. I'm Joni Martin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Southwest Wisconsin. And I'm here to share with you what I think is a hidden gem from the January releases. So let's get my face out of the way and talk about what I have to share. Thanks. So in January of 2025, I think 4 scrapbook kits were released. And no, I'm not here to talk about scrapbook kits. I'll do that in another video because if you know me, you know I love scrapbooking. But in addition to release, so the kit is called Everyday You and Me. And if you haven't seen our scrapbook kits, they're amazing. And again, I'll do a full video on the scrapbook kit at another time. Today I want to talk about the extras. So when you can order the whole kit and it comes with amazingness, and again, I'm going to set it aside so I don't get distracted by everything wonderful in the kit. But you can also order just the papers. Now when you order an accompanied paper pack for a scrapbook kit, it comes with 12 sheets and there's 3 different sheets, 2 patterns on a pattern on each side, so it's really 6 designs, and you get 4 of each one. This is my new favorite paper pack. It speaks to me. I love it. But anyway, let's just talk about it. I'll show you the card I'm going to make. So this one is, let's call it a plaid. Then look at this great background. Look at this piece. Can't you just think of everything you could do with that? And if you can't think of enough things for it, look what's on the back. And another great background piece. And this watercolor piece. Oh, I love this paper pack. So you can also order a bundle or you can order the pieces separately. A bundle just means you're ordering a stamp set and a die or a stamp set and a punch that go together and you get 10% off for ordering both of them. You could do the stamp set, which has these beautiful roses and so much joy. I have 2 wedding cards to get done for weddings that just happened in the last month. They're winter weddings. This is a beautiful paper pack for that. I'm going to use that. Happy, better together, love every moment. That would work for any of them. The accompanied die sets, for those of you who love to stamp and then die cut, that's what these are for. So you can cut out the flowers, you can cut out the leaves. Yep, okay. I'm not using that in my card, but I wanted to make you aware that that was an option. So we're going to set those aside. Do you want to see the card? So I used what I consider a background and kind of a front and center. I want to show you though, you could do the same thing I did and use this for where I used the plaid and use the floral for where I'm calling the vine print. Wouldn't those 2 look great together? Yes. So I am in need of sympathy cards. And so I made this as a sympathy card, but really, it could be a birthday card, it could be a thinking of you card, it could be you're an amazing card. I did sympathy and I'll show you what I did for the inside, but let's talk about the card pieces. So I used, for this card, I used paper from, the paper pack is called Everyday Happiness. And if I can find a marker, I'll write that down for you because it's one that would be easy to miss with all the amazing stuff that was released in January of 2025. Paper pack is Everyday Happiness, and it is number 166632. Oh, the things you could do with it. You'll be seeing more cards. I love this paper pack. So let's look at what I did. I added to it, besides the paper pack, I grabbed Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. And because it was a plaid, I thought this card needs the Forever Plaid embossing folder. So let's look at how easy this card is to come together. Set this aside. We're going to begin with our card mat. And I have a piece that's going to just go right there. And I'm going to actually attach it before I emboss. That way both pieces will be embossed. And if you've used the Forever Plaid, you know it's kind of a thick embossing folder and it's a little harder to glue things on an embossed surface. So let's attach this right there. You could use your favorite glue. I'm going to grab Seal Plus because I love that. And because I'm going to emboss, a tape runner is a better option. If I used a multi-purpose glue and got a little carried away, when I run it through that embossing folder and put that pressure on, Glue's going everywhere, including on your embossing folder. And then we're just going to attach this right here. Our next step is to emboss. Let's get a couple pieces out of the way here. And I actually need multiple cards, and if I was more prepared, I'd have 2 of these card fronts ready, because look, I can emboss 2 at a time. For today, we're just going to do 1. And the way this design goes, it doesn't matter if I'm going up or down or across. But as I make more cards, I will do 2 cards at once, and then I can just run them both through. All right. This uses plates 1 and 4. I have plate 1 in. With the cut and emboss system, you always use plate 1, and you always have a plate on top. So if I'm only using 2 plates, it's going to be plate 1, whatever I'm embossing, and then plate 4. And you always want a plate on top, because that protects your machine and what you're running through your machine, whether it's an embossing folder or a die cut. And we're going to just do this then. And it should run through just as smoothly as mine is. If not, stop. Check your plates, check that everything is straight. There we go. And there we have it. Now let's build on that a little bit. So I have Pretty Peacock, and I love Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon together. And then when they use both of them in a paper pack, it's like, yes, that is the combination you want for this card. We're just going to give it a nice fold, and then I'm going to attach it to here. This is pretty heavily embossed. I think this is a time for some multi-purpose glue, because I want it to stay there. And I got a little closer to the outside edge than I like to, because when I push down, it's going to go. Let's hope I didn't get too close and I get some on my card. We can fix it if I do, but you probably want to give yourself a little more space than that. There we go. And because it's so embossed, I'm kind of really pushing to give it a second to catch. Now look at this paper. So pretty. Both sides are so pretty. Like, you could do that too. But we're going on this side because I love this little vine going through here and the dots of the Pretty Peacock. And that's going on here. And I will have all my numbers on my blog, but see how small I have that mat? That's my preference. But it can be hard to line up sometimes when you want the mat that small. So this is another good use of your multi-purpose glue, because you have a little bit of grace with that. You have a little bit of time to move it around and get it where you want. Whereas with even the Seal Plus, that adheres pretty quickly, and so it's a little harder to get around. I have done it and moved it, but this is... There we go. See how that kind of makes those colors pop in there? Now, I'm going to use dimensionals, and they are just like little pieces of foam that stick up, and it's just going to add a little more interest to my card, but not so much that my card will be too thick to go through with a regular stamp. Just like that. And there. Now we're going to take the backings off, and I have, to the side here, you can't see it, a little bowl. And I'm going to contain the backings. My friend Jennifer taught me this trick because they're very staticky. And I would just kind of take them off before and push them to the side. I'm not ever going to be your neatest crafter. And then they would go everywhere. They'd stick to my clothes, they'd stick to my shoes. My crafting space is in the basement. They'd come upstairs on my clothes, they'd land in my car on my clothes. And by containing them right away, they stay where they belong. And that's going to go here. And then I felt like it needed one more thing. But it's a sympathy card, so I don't really want to go with like bling bling. So I grabbed, I love these embellishments. I use them for lots of things. They're called adhesive backed textured dots. I contain my embellishments in a stamp case. You can get 4 at a time from the catalog. And I just type up on my little iPad the name, and I put the item number so I know what it is when I want to order more. And then, so I have partial sheets here, but it doesn't matter. They can, they kind of come together. And So like I have some sheets we started for one card in another class, and then all the pieces are contained, is what I'm saying with that. I'm going to use 3 because I like odd numbers, and a triangular shape is more visually pleasing. So that just means I'm going to put 1 by itself up here, and then I'm going to put 2 closer together down here. I think that just finishes off this card. Now we have to do something with the inside. So I stamped Sending Heartfelt Sympathy. Isn't that a pretty sentiment? I love the font. I love all of it. And for that, I grabbed a stamp set called Loveliest Tree. And it is, I would get it just for the sentiments, but it's got a beautiful tree on it. It includes happy birthday, sending heartfelt sympathies, thank you, and congratulations. Something, you know, this in your collection of stamps, you'd have a lot of cards covered. Okay, so I did that, and then I used the Pretty Peacock as my ink, and that would work okay. It's pretty in there, but I grabbed a scrap of this fabric paper. Sorry, guys. It's just a 1/2-inch strip. You could use either print that you used. I took this one, and again, I'm going back for my glue, and I'm going to put just a touch of glue at the top here. There we go. Now we're going to attach this. Just like that. Now, you know what I'm going to say next, don't you? Beautiful card, not going out in a naked envelope. So I have another strip of that fabric. This is 2 1/4 by 6, and I'm going to attach it just to the envelope flap. So that means I'm putting glue all the way around, including at the top of the flap. And the reason I'm doing that is I want it to be attached securely so there's not a gap for a postal machine to get something in there and rip it. I'm speaking from experience, folks. And that's going to go just like that. We're going to trim. And my crafting table is covered. I had trouble finding my snips. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. We're going to just snip off this. I'm using the card as my guide. Look what that does. It just finishes it off. And then we're going to trim off this. Just like this. And we have a beautiful envelope. Someone's going to get this and say, oh, look at that. I want to open that card first. Let's attach the inside here. Tape run is perfect for that. You don't need a lot. And that's going to go here. Now this is a sympathy card. You could send to anyone. There we go. How easy was that? I wanted to point out just one more thing. You could also emboss your envelope flap, and I said that thinking I had an example right here to share with you. And I think I do. 1 second, let me grab it. There you go. It wasn't as close as I thought. If you were saving that paper for something else, or you didn't have enough, you could also use your embossing folder on your envelope flap. Either one works. It's just, you just don't want to send it out in a basic ho-hum envelope. So whatever works for you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. If you liked what you saw, hey, please share it with your crafty friends. And until next time, take care and keep crafting. It's good for you.